Welcome to Insights into a Soul, the podcast that no one asked for. This is a podcast about life, love, and everything in between. So grab a cup of coffee and relax, and join me as we gain insights into a soul. What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Insights into a Soul. We got another group therapy tonight. We got a special edition of group therapy tonight. A special quarantined, social distanced episode of group therapy. I got tonight with me, I got Will. Will, it's not a video podcast. You gotta talk.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, we're not doing video. Camera. No, you can't. We got Jeff.
Hello, audience.
What's up, guys?
And we got Rachel.
What's up?
And of course, we've got your host, Torin. Me.
Ooh.
Oh, wow, thanks. Jeez. I don't know why I keep inviting you guys back for this.
What are you talking about? This is my podcast now, if I remember correctly. I invited you.
We need to stop having Will on the podcast.
Yeah, we just need to start cutting him off. At least he hasn't had as much to drink tonight as he did last time.
Start your own podcast, Will.
You're starting to paint me like I have a problem.
Didn't say you have a problem.
I don't think anybody has to paint it either. If it's showing the pattern, man.
Do we need to shift the focus of tonight's podcast and discuss your problem?
This is actually an intervention.
Is this an intervention?
So I have this really bad problem where I wake up at 6 every day and go to work and come back home and do the same thing again the next day.
That's a serial pattern. Yeah, we're all kind of guilty of that one. So,
yeah.
Can't help you with that one.
Intervention.
No, the world is crazy right now. It's going a little chaos out there. So if you listen to this podcast, when we drop it, if you listen to it, months, years down the road, it's a crazy time in society right now. As there's this coronavirus pandemic that is sweeping the nation, but also hitting internationally. Pretty much every country is experiencing this. And as a group in America here, we've been not quarantined, but we've been what's the term? We've been
just socially isolated.
Yes.
Social distance.
To flatten the curve or to mitigate the spread of this virus, because apparently it's a virus that spreads extremely easily and extremely quickly. We've moved up thousands of cases have been reported in the U.S. So a lot of businesses have been shutting down, going to work from home. So we've been on mandatory work from home for the past week. I know Jeff and myself have been, and I think, Will, you have as well, right? Working from home?
Yep, sure have.
So it's a really strange situation because we've gone to working remote, video conference calls. It's got its perks, but it's also got its downsides, I guess you could say. How's the experience been for you guys so far? Like, Will, how's it been working from home? What are the highs and lows?
The highs and lows. It's a flattened curve, much like our goal for this virus. I don't know. I was talking about this with my team, and it's not really a lot different for me. The only change is that if I need to go do a live video shoot, which I have 4 planned right now, I can't do that. So I'm just kind of doing busy work in the meantime. But I'm perfectly equipped and well prepared to work from home.
I think we joke about that as video editors because all of us, we're in that video profession. We joke that we were designed for this kind of a situation because, isolation is what we do when we're grinding away on projects and editing. And so, the less human interaction while we're working sometimes, the better. So I know for me, I'm enjoying working from home because, one, my morning commute is literally getting out of bed and walking to my office. So it's the next room.
Hey, you've got a laptop. You don't even have to go that far.
Yeah, no, I have everything set up in my office. I've actually got it set up to where I'm using my desktop to edit because it's faster than my laptop. So I've just plug in my work drives and go for it. The downside, though, I think Jeff and we were talking about this the other day, is because we're not in the office together, it's not as easy to have that social banter or hey, let's go grab a cup of coffee and just talk for a couple minutes. So there's that just that small interactions that you don't even think about that you really start to miss. And it's only been a week. So
Yeah, those little distractions that pull you out of being so involved in what you're doing, that get you up out of your seat and talking and just pulling you out of what that element of what you're doing for a little bit. Like, you don't realize how much that actually like alleviates your day-to-day stress in the projects and things that you're working on. And now that we are doing the social isolation, the distancing or whatever, Brittany and I have been isolating ourselves pretty much. It's definitely been very easy to sit at my desk for like 8 straight hours and not realize it's like, oh shoot, I should probably not do this. I'm going to get a blood clot. Like, this is bad.
Get a blood clot.
Yeah, you can get a blood clot in your leg from not standing up, from not moving around. So
yeah. I've been making a point to every day over lunch just going for a walk for the hour.
I think I'm going to start doing that. You said that the other day, and I was kind of joking. I was like, I don't need that much exercise. But you said, I was like, dang it, I really should start doing that. Just take the dog, go for a walk. You should take your cat for a walk, Will. You should put the leash on it. And
I have a harness for him, and that was a goal at one point in my life to try that. But every time I put the harness on him, he just falls over. So
yeah, we tried that exact same thing. Tried the exact same thing with both of our cats. Wes had nothing to do with it. By the way, Wes, we found out since his last vet visit about 8 months ago, has put on another 1.5 pounds. So the dude weighs 15 pounds, and he is a very, very small-framed cat. So he is fat as hell.
Jeff, I'm going to send you an Instagram account.
He's thick, boy.
Damn, boy, he's thick.
So let me actually preface this. I say it was doing a social distancing podcast. Normally when we do these group therapies, we're gathered around my dining table and we're hanging out, having some drinks. But tonight, you can't see it because we don't do the video podcast. We might do a video podcast for this one. Who knows? But we are all... Oh, yeah, no, we can't do a video podcast. Yeah.
Why?
Just can't. It's not going to work well. Not everybody has cameras. It doesn't look great.
I have my pants off. I'm helicoptering in front of the camera. It's just not a good thing to put out there.
But no, so we're all on Skype tonight. So we're all in our houses doing the video podcast, or doing a podcast through Skype to make sure that we socially distance ourselves. Rachel, how's your week been going? You've got a very unique situation.
I was about to say, turn on your cameras and just hold it at like MySpace angle for the duration.
Yeah, so my arm can like fall
asleep
off.
immediately. Yeah.
Blood clot.
No, this week has been quite adventurous. So at the beginning of the week, when everyone was told to work from home, for you guys, my job remained open. They started to send a select people home, those who had children who were out of school for 2 weeks. Fast forward 2 more days, they let a few more people home. And then on Thursday, they decided that, you know what, we're just going to let everybody work from home now. Mind you, my job has no means ever of working remotely. They're just not set up for that. So everyone literally broke down all their computers and had to take their towers with them and go home. And it was crazy. However, my last day was supposed to be Friday. I put my 2 weeks in at that job, and so they decided, you know what, you can go home Thursday and we'll just pay you for Friday. And I'm like, sweet. Okay.
The unfortunate thing though in this situation is that you put your 2 weeks in a week before the coronavirus stuff happened. So like it wasn't
everyone's on a hiring hold. So all of the interviews that I had lined up and second interviews and job potentials are all placed on hold right now. So pray for me. Pray for me. Yeah, and my school didn't shut down until yesterday.
Yeah, that was another thing too. Yeah.
What?
School shut down.
Yeah, her school didn't shut down. She goes to cosmetology school. And
I know, but I'm saying
they were still doing stuff.
Yeah, they really waited a long time to decide. It's like, hey, this might be a good idea to, stop having classes in person.
Yeah.
A lot of colleges, Bryson just this week had to go and completely pack up his dorm and move out because they said they're probably not even going to come back for the rest of the semester.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So Wilmington even said, nope, come get your stuff, move out of the dorms. We're probably not even going to come back for the semester.
That's crazy.
So they might be doing online courses. They haven't determined, apparently, but they might have just canceled, and they're talking about not even enrolling for the fall yet.
Wow.
So colleges, man, it's getting crazy out there.
I think that's the thing is like, I said this the other day in one of our calls. It's like something you don't realize, especially when you're in the social isolation. You kind of don't realize what's actually going on out there with the world if you don't keep up with like the news and stuff. Like I don't watch a lot of news, but it's like you don't realize, I guess, how crazy things are going, or how bad it's actually getting. Like this is a very serious thing, and I think a lot of people didn't take it seriously because it was like, oh, well, it's like it's like a really bad flu. A lot of people were saying, or they're like, well, I'm not going to get it. Like people weren't thinking of all the other people out there that it could have negative effects on. And it's not about just, oh, well, you might not die if you get it. But distracted by Will's messages here. So it's like, but it is one of those things that like we said, flattening the curve, trying to do different things to make sure that like we protect the people that maybe can't protect themselves, older people, kids, people with weakened immune systems. Like it's been weird. Like it's eerie going around the neighborhood. Like if we have to run out for essentials, like we run to the grocery store, like everything's gone, like meats and toilet paper. And that's one thing I didn't understand was toilet paper.
Oh, shit that much. Do shit that much. No joke. Like seriously, come on.
Like cases of toilet paper. But I don't know. So with all this going on, with the craziness of the world, and I thought it might be just not fun, but I thought it would be interesting to do a podcast where we talk about, the value of community. Because I think that's the one thing that people are realizing. There's a lot of jokes going around where people talk about like introverts, like, oh, now you want to know what introverts do for fun now that everybody's stuck at home. I've seen some memes like that going around, but it's things like that. Like you don't realize how important relationships and people are until you're forced to not have that regular interaction. And I know like through all the stuff that I've been through, we've talked about this on some other podcasts, as far as like, my separation, and Will, like we've talked about this, and Rachel, and how like, I wouldn't be where I am if I didn't have, friends like you guys around me, to help me through the situation. But in times like this, like I think we really see the value of relationships and friendships, and not just the professional ones, but the personal ones. Like what have you guys, how have you guys experienced it? Like, what's your view on that? Like, how important community is now that we're in this isolated state? Like, do you feel like you're more aware of it? Like, what are your thoughts on it?
I feel more aware of it. It's been, so at work we use Microsoft Teams, and I'll just randomly get video calls throughout the day because people just want to like, not like checking in, I'll see if I'm working, but they just want like that human interaction for a little while. Like I said, I've been doing walks daily, and one of my coworkers that also lives uptown has joined me a few times on that. And I mean, it's just like, we're all still communicating, but we need that face-to-face thing still, in whatever capacity we can recreate it.
I kind of feel like a toddler. When you tell a toddler not to do something, and now I just feel like I need to do it. Like, don't tell me what to do. I want to see people. I need to do this right now. That's kind of how I feel.
That's really funny because I think for Brittany and I, it doesn't feel a whole lot different. Like not going to the office is obviously a different change. But Brittany and I normally don't do a whole hell of a lot of like going out on the weekends and stuff like that because of her health situation, because of the autoimmune disorder. So we've always been cautious. It's just funny seeing, how this is impacting other people where we're kind of very comfortable being in this with each other and just kind of keeping to ourselves. Will is flipping off the camera right now because Taryn's trying to take a picture, and it's really funny. Very distracting.
Sorry, continue your story.
But like to speak to what Rachel was saying about like wanting to go out and wanting to be around people and like don't tell me what to do. It's really funny because some of the people in this house were living with my mother-in-law, and the 3 kids are here, and both Bryson and Cameron are just the most extroverted people that just love to be around people all the time, and they have been going absolutely stir crazy. Like, I'm like, it's been a week. We might have months of this. Y'all need to figure out how to like entertain yourselves from home. Because it's not, it's
part of it.
yeah, it's not a good idea to try and go out and to try and do things because like they're even saying like I've seen some models about how this thing is going to keep going and like yeah, you should probably not be in public too terribly much. So for me, it doesn't feel a whole lot different. It's just the change of pace of working from home, but I've done that for years anyways as, you know, freelance video stuff. So no huge difference to me. Feels comfortable.
Yeah. I think for me, I'm kind of in that boat with you. Like, I don't always have to go out to do stuff. I enjoy going out. I enjoy hanging out with friends, but it's been the work week has been the odd thing. You know, like I said earlier, just those small conversations, that small interaction, like missing that. But I think, you know, we have that unique angle because we're gamers. And so I think I was telling, I don't know if it was Jeff or Will the other night, we were playing video games, and I kind of mentioned that this is the most I've played online multiplayer games in a long time. Like, regularly played them with a group of friends. Like, I go and play Call of Duty and stuff like that, but actually being intentional about getting on with a group of people.
With people you know.
Exactly. It's like, it's kind of pushed me to get back to that because that's my, like my hangout time. That's my way of going out now and doing stuff with people. And like you said, Jeff, like we have no idea how long this could last. And I think it's interesting how by day 3, I know some of our coworkers were already like struggling. And I'm like, this is the first week. Like you said, like we don't know how long things could happen, like could keep going like this. And if people are already starting to struggle, like those extroverts, it'd be interesting to see how, you know, if this goes 3-4 weeks, how it starts to affect people.
I've never been happier to have my VR headset because that's what Brittany and I have been doing to get like exercise and stuff. We've been playing Beat Saber and Pistol Whip, and I'm about to pull the trigger on buying the Walking Dead game, and like, so I'm just like, I'm very happy to have that to do something a little more physical, like stand up and move around.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I'm not the type of guy who like really likes to go on walks and go out. Like I'm not that outdoorsy person, but it's really funny just to
exercise and physical activity. Like what? Like what?
Huh? What? It's a miracle.
That's
I
one
weigh
of
like
my,
350 pounds.
That's like a pro and a con right now. Is like if you want to go on a hike, there's probably a lot of people out thinking the same thing. There's not going to be a lot of people out, and that sucks a lot because I want to go do that, but know that there's going to be a fuck ton of people out there.
I thought it was interesting. Like on social media today, I'm seeing a lot of people. Like, you know, I couldn't take it anymore. You know, week of social isolation. I had to go out and do something. So like people went to like the local mountains here today, and I'm seeing groups of like 10, 15, 20 people in photos. Like them with a couple of their friends, but then like, you know, 20 people they don't know behind them because everybody wanted to go to the mountains. I'm like, guys, this is week 1. And, you know, this quarantine, the social isolation is not just during the week for work. Like it's for everything. It's for the weekends. And I just wonder I don't want to sound negative, but how much damage it could do with people wanting to go do stuff on the weekends and like, I can't take anymore. I need to go do something, you know, like the risk.
That was one of the models that I saw. They did kind of an animated thing where they had some of the bubbles like stayed still. Some of the bubbles moved around like normal. Some moved at like half speed, right? And it was every time a bubble touched another bubble, it was the spread of the virus and stuff like that. And it's interesting how even if only 20% of the population does the social distancing, how much that actually still slows the spread.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't think about on a daily basis how many people you actually interact with. And so just by like one family kind of staying more isolated, it really helps to reduce in that community the amount of interactions and the amount of spread. It was really interesting. Modern Rogue actually showed that thing.
I think one of the interesting articles I saw was Rachel sent it to me the other day was about Vegas. I think I sent it to you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Just seeing like Las Vegas, a town that is normally every day of the week loaded with people and tourists, completely shut down. Like not only all the people that work in the casinos and the employees and stuff, the food, the restaurants, the public transportation, it's a complete ghost town. Casinos are dark. The fountains of Bellagio, all those places are shut down. And one, I feel for all the people that are in like the service industry, the bartenders, the waiters, waitresses. Like, it sucks because there's nothing, like, they don't have the luxury of working from home and still making money like some of us do. We're very fortunate that we can work from home in what we do.
Well, to a certain extent, but yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, but again, if you're a bartender, like, a waitress, like, they're very,
Yeah,
necessary
they definitely
jobs.
can't do that from home.
No, then they're not making any money.
I did see something funny where this guy posted on Twitter, and he was like, all right, somebody Venmo me $6. I'll tell you what to mix together at your house to make a drink, and I will get on Skype and talk to you for 10 minutes about your problems.
I like that.
Not a bad idea.
I was
Not a
like,
bad
yeah, that's
idea.
pretty funny.
Do you know how many YouTube channels are going to be started after this?
Oh my gosh. Do you know how many OnlyFans girls
Yep.
have started?
I was
Because
right there.
well, I'm out of work. Here we go. Snap,
Oh,
snap.
that reminds me. I got to send you something I got
Appreciate
for
sex workers. That's a real thing.
But it's,
I've got a friend
they've-
that works in the Chicago film industry, and it's completely shut down.
They've been training for this day. Yeah,
Mhm.
OnlyFans webcam girls.
One of
Oh
my
gosh.
other friends in a group chat messaged him to say, "Hey, let me know when you get to a point of starting to sell feet pics. I'll be here standing by." To which he replied, "Trying to figure out how I should start charging on my OnlyFans."
Oh my
Thought that was
gosh.
fitting.
Goodness. But no, it's interesting. I think like the way to see just how society is going, like with all of this stuff happening. You've obviously got the groups that are kind of rebellious that are like, no, I'm not going to do what you tell me. And they're still going on spring break and they're drinking and there's groups of people. But then you got the other groups, like they're taking it seriously, they're isolating. Then you got the groups that are isolated that are going crazy in the first week. And then you have the other ones like us that are kind of thriving in the
Just doing our
social
normal thing.
isolation. Yeah, it's like, well, we're normally introverted anyway.
I should say this because I did just see a text message from my wife that was clarifying, not based on our conversation, but based on a conversation I had with her. I just remembered it's social distancing, not social
Yeah.
isolation. It's
Sorry, yeah,
distancing.
right.
We keep saying isolation, so just clarify that.
I said distancing. It's
I mean, it is kind of well, there's two things going on. There is social isolation going on.
Yes.
Where we're isolating ourselves to the homes. But then, like, if you do go out, there's this thing of like social
6 to 8
distancing where it's
Yeah.
like, what, 6 to 8
6
feet?
feet a week.
No more than 10 people gathered in a place. Like, I went to GameStop yesterday to pick up my copy of Doom Eternal, and they're taking the.
Wait. Pick up? You still aren't doing digital, you monster.
I am on most games now, but I had the deluxe edition on. Whatever. Anyway, that's another podcast for another time. But no, like they're doing only 8 people in a store at a time, and like everybody in the store is like standing way away from each other until it's your turn to go to the register. But it's that type of thing. Like if they're the one behind the counter is counting 8 people, and if other people try to come in, she's like, hey, we'll go back outside. There's only 8 people allowed, per store policy. It's a really weird like state to be in right now. But then you go to Walmart and there's like 300 people there, all like back to back trying to get toilet paper. It's weird.
So there's a few states that are fully going to the shelter-in-place model of quarantine. How do you think
And
that'll work if it happens here? Which I think it probably will next week.
I think it's well, because those states I think are also imposing curfews as well, aren't they? Like shelter in place plus curfews.
I'm anticipating we'll get to a federal regulation of that.
Oh, I'm sure. I don't know. Like I said, it's not hard for me to not go out already. Like especially now that it's getting more serious, I'm staying in. Like I was apprehensive about even going to GameStop yesterday because it's not bad in our area yet. But again, I still don't want to like put myself at risk or contribute to that whole thing.
You don't know who touched that door before you did?
Hey, hand sanitizer. Literally, like so much more conscious now of like where my hands are, sanitizing, and just like washing my hands frequently and stuff. That's why another reason I like staying home, because like my house is sanitized. There's no foreign odd like people bringing things into my house, and so it's just it's clean. The dog is not going out to work, so I'm not worried about that.
How's Shadow paying rent?
She's fine. She does her thing.
She pays in
She's
cuddles.
she's
Also,
really
like,
confused
it's like-
though, because I'm home every day now, and so it's really odd for me to not like go to work and come home. Her routine is so thrown off. She looks at me like just with confusion. I think you said your cats are kind of the same way, aren't you? Like Jeff and Will, like your cats are kind of confused.
Mine sleep all day anyway, so they kind of just continue to do that.
Abby is definitely confused. By the way, we took the donut off of her. Her medicine is working so well, she's no longer picking at herself, so that's fun. But then, yeah. Will just turned his camera on his cat. And then Wes has been loving it because it gets a lot more time with Brittany, because Brittany always feels guilty letting Wes into the bedroom because we try to keep them out of the bedroom as much as possible, but she'll only let Wes in the bedroom if I'm sitting at my desk so that Abby can have somebody to socialize with. And so Wes has been absolutely loving that, where he goes in there and hangs out with her. So he's probably laying on her right now as she's on her other call with her book friends.
Or if she needs to use him for Instagram photos.
Her Instagram photos with him are the greatest things ever.
Yeah, he is a very Instagrammable cat. He is. He's like this giant fat cat. He's awesome.
He is just round. Round.
Oh. Yeah, so I don't know where to go from here because it's a very odd episode.
we were going to start talking about the importance of community, I think is what we said initially.
Yeah, sure. Sounds great.
And it's definitely been...
And then we immediately went into the unimportance of it.
Yeah,
it's not important at all. No, but there is a lot of like doing a social video call.
This is still community in this aspect.
Exactly. Yeah. Even last night I did one with our friends who are in California, Kimmy and Dustin, who are way out in California right now.
Oh, how are they?
They're doing really well. They're also going a little stir crazy.
Because they're pretty social people, aren't they?
They're exceptionally social, and I'm starting to hear reverb.
Yeah.
Anybody else hearing it?
Yep.
Rach? I'm just kidding.
What?
I'm just kidding. I'm just throwing out
we're
shade.
feeding back through someone's microphone, speakers. I don't know.
So yeah, it's just like it's very important to do stuff like that to at least have some sort of interaction, some sort of socialization, because they say after like 2 weeks you can start to go crazy from lack of social interaction. So make sure you're doing it to some extent with someone. Call a family member, call your friends, talk for a little bit.
Yeah,
figure
play
out
video games
from a distance. Exactly.
Like that's honestly helped me so much. I mentioned a little bit earlier, but just getting on and playing, Call of Duty or whatever, like with you guys, helps a ton. Just, one, taking my mind off of everything that's going on, but then also like that banter, just joking around and just having fun. I think it takes me back to college when I was like, all it was school. And so that was the break time. There wasn't really a whole lot of going out. It was that jumping on Xbox, playing Halo and stuff, and just having that community as you talk about. Because ultimately I think that's the big thing for all of us in gaming is that community is what we enjoy, what we got into. With Call of Duty, Halo, Warcraft, it was always about the people. It wasn't just the game, it was the people. And I think that's the big thing is community. Find those opportunities like Jeff said, video call a friend. And I think I'm wondering if through this situation, if like with you and Kimmy and Dustin, like I know you guys have been friends for a long time, but if because of the distancing, the working from home, if you will be more, people in general will be more aware of friends that they haven't been in contact with for a long time, like reaching out to them.
That's a good point. That actually got me thinking that I've got a group of friends back home that I don't talk to very regularly that I should probably propose a video call because this would be a perfect time to do it.
Yeah. So I think that's a good thing. Reach out. I think reach out to your friends that you haven't talked to in a while. Check on people. What? Jeff? Sorry, because we're doing this chat. We've got this like text chat going.
I was hoping that wasn't going to distract you too much. No, I was trying to joke around. Yeah, well,
it hasn't even come in on my end yet.
Oh, well, that's good. No, I was just going to make a joke about like we were talking about gaming and stuff like that and be like, and that's the perfect segue to our sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends. Use code INSIGHTS for 5 new bosses. No, I'm just kidding. Not a sponsor.
You getting paid, Torn? Where's our cut?
I wish.
This is my podcast.
This is Will's podcast.
I think for me, it's also going to give me more opportunity to Skype with my family, my baby girl and stuff, because right now she's actually being tested for the virus.
Ooh.
Yeah, so she's out in quarantine, and Mama's not going anywhere near her. Not for my sake, but also for for her safety too. In case anything were to happen, at least I could be available, not run down. But has anybody thought of like, I don't know. So for me, I have kind of turned this into more of a reflection of what I can do to help. As far as like the community aspect goes, I know there's a shortage of medical masks and things like that I've actually been told about and have a pattern, and I'm actually going to start making some custom ones that I can donate to shelters or any place that I can really help out, especially now that I have so much free time in my hands. So
Yeah, I'm committing my free time to just playing video games. I don't know why you're talking about helping community. That's just weird.
That's interesting. That's something I'd not thought about actually. Yet, probably wouldn't have, because that's not my personality.
Wow, we got some selfish SOBs on here.
Not selfish, just
I'm kidding.
okay. Yeah, selfish. Because I was gonna say not selfish,
thoughtful.
just like looking out for myself, but that's selfish. So.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Looking
for
out
me,
for
like
me.
I have the trade knowledge, so like I can actually sew and I can create things. I know how to work, that aspect. Yeah, shut up.
Will just did that.
I'm stop. I'm done.
No. This is good.
And I'm shutting up. Nope.
Well, that's a really good point.
Moving on.
You do have a lot of applicable skills in that.
I was going to say, I have no
cosplay.
marketable skills to help people.
Yeah.
You can make a video campaign to raise awareness and tell all those fuckers on the Clearwater Beach in Florida to stop being on Clearwater Beach in Florida.
Yeah, because they're going to listen to that video. They're not listening to the government. I don't think they're going to listen to some self-made video.
You're not going to tell me they're not going to listen to Jeff with his cat tower in the background and everything.
Guys, I'll just get TikTok famous and just start bitching at people about like, why the hell are you out?
Now's the
That's
time.
actually an interesting point. Like, a celebrity influence would probably have a lot more impact on those people.
So that's a good point you bring up, Will, because I've been kind of wondering, like, why we're putting such an emphasis on celebrities in general. Like, Idris Elba got coronavirus. Why do I care? Like, why is this all over the news? Like, he's just another person. He has coronavirus. I mean, and not to sound like cold or anything, but like, why do I care when a celebrity gets coronavirus?
Because it's a name that everybody knows and it looks really good in a headline and people are going to click on it.
Yeah, and so for me, I'm just like, okay, I was a little sad when Tom Hanks had coronavirus. Like, I'll be honest there, but it's Tom Hanks.
He's fine.
He's fine.
He
But
and
it's
Rita
just
are
like, anytime celebrities get coronavirus, it's all over the news. It's all over social media. It's like, why? I don't care. I don't know. I sound cold,
Conversely, I've only seen announcements of them with the coronavirus. I haven't seen any action or statements from any of them about coronavirus either, which is odd.
Hey, we just need to make sure that Keanu Reeves and Terry Crews are protected.
I don't think Keanu Reeves is anything to worry about.
Shooting the virus out of the air.
As long as it doesn't affect his dog, we'll be fine.
Oh my god.
It's not a biography.
It is. Look, I'm fully convinced that John Wick series is just another version of The Matrix at this point. You've got Neo, you've got Morpheus, you've got a bunch of unnamed people in suits trying to take him down. It's just another version of The Matrix. Right?
I think you can tell that coronavirus has affected us all in the fact that we can't do anything. This has just gone off the rails.
Oh, it's always off the
maintaining
rails
focus
with
here.
group therapy.
What are you talking about? It's never off the rails.
We stayed really on point for fear.
Oh, you didn't
Yeah.
listen to the last episode then, did you, Jeff?
No, I did. I
The
don't
one
remember it because it was
the one
not
with Will.
memorable, but
There you go.
That wasn't the last episode. It was the one before.
No?
no.
Wasn't it?
No.
It was the last
You
episode.
put out another one.
Yeah. You were on it. You had a lot to drink.
Checking the Instagram.
It was the one
Well,
where
we
you
did like
kept,
3 that night.
it was the one where you kept trying to extend the episode every time we would try to land the plane.
Yeah, the one with you,
You
me, and
would-
Rachel.
Yeah, you would continue to come up with something new and random to talk about because you had this belief that the episode needed to go 2 hours instead of an hour.
Because it was a group therapy, and that's how those had trended in this only one that had been done so far.
It's not a trend if we've only done one
The
episode.
last episode was my love life, and the one before that was the group therapy. So I am correct.
Oh yeah, he did have his love life episode.
No, I'm talking about group therapy episodes where
Yeah.
they go off the rails.
Before the last episode that aired.
Yeah, but it was the last group therapy that we did.
Oh, okay.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
So you're both right
Miscommunication.
and all wrong. So that's great.
Oh gosh. Why we continue to do these group therapies, I don't know. But honestly, they've had some of the best feedback too. Like people like the group therapies.
Yeah.
I was really disappointed to find out, and I believe we talked about this in the last one, really disappointed to find out that Jeff episodes were trending higher.
They are. They were. Yeah.
What
They
can I
were.
say? People like me.
I haven't checked them lately. I don't know. I haven't been keeping up the stats. Honestly,
Let's
I
not
didn't
do it
put
now.
one-
No, let's
I
not do it
didn't
now.
Oh,
Back
we're
to
doing
community.
it.
No, yeah, back to community and back to the importance of community or the lack thereof.
You know, so with community, this is kind of an interesting segue because this week I didn't.
We're talking about the show, right? Community?
No,
I really
I've
6 seasons
never-
in.
never watched that show.
What?
Yeah.
You
Never
should
watched
watch it.
On
At
this
least-
episode of Insights into a Soul, we're having an intervention with Torin.
No, there's too many shows, like especially like long running shows like that. I don't want to go back and watch stuff on them.
You just
I
gotta
don't
watch the first 2
catch up.
seasons. After that, you can stop.
Yeah, somebody said that like Parks and Rec, you got to go and watch it, and I just stopped watching it.
Parks and Rec takes an entire season to even start.
Yeah. Anyway, so back to Community and the topic of the show. You know, I think it was interesting because this week I was really struggling. There's been a lot going on in my personal life, and I need to do a personal solo episode to kind of maybe just update some stuff. But I didn't put out a podcast earlier this week, and I was really struggling. Been going through some personal stuff. You know, put a post about it on social, just saying, "Hey, sorry I haven't put out an episode this week." And then I think Will was actually the one that messaged me and was like, "Hey, why don't we do another group therapy? Just with everything going on, might be a good time to do it." You did, yeah, you did. Were you drunk when you messaged me that?
No.
Okay. You didn't remember it. So I think the bottom line is your memory is just terrible. Got it.
That's not great.
But no, and so I think that's the thing. And when we talk about community, it's times like that where you have friends, you have that group, that social network, but they're just people that are there that can provide that input for you. That, I think having people that understand you or that kind of like know how to reach out to you in those times is super important. Because even if it's not a big thing, if it's not a major thing, like we say, hey, reach out to your friends, which is important. Reach out to your friends, especially the ones that are extroverted, that really depend on people and relationships. During this time, make sure you reach out to them and check on them. We talk about doing it for introverts when, we go through seasons where we're kind of quiet and away, but it's even more so as important now for the extroverts who are stuck at home in isolation, social distanced.
Yeah. So introverts, take care of your extroverted friends during this.
I disagree with this statement.
You disagree. Why?
This is a trial by fire scenario, in my
Oh,
opinion.
God.
The extroverts don't check in on we introverts that often. So why should we be doing it now?
All
A
right.
lot of silence after that statement.
Because
I
that's
don't
a
even know how to
dumb
respond to
statement.
that.
It wasn't great. Yeah.
I was going to say, also think about the people who have been affected by this, not by getting sick themselves, but we actually, Torn, have another friend, and I have a close friend who had to cancel their weddings
Mm-hmm.
because of this. And for them, it's really hard. One of our coworkers had to cancel her wedding, and one of my, like I said, my really good friend had to cancel his wedding. They're really broken up about it. Like, they were really excited, and they had honeymoons planned. They had all this stuff planned, for life to change and for big things to happen. And this is a really hard time for those guys too. Like,
Yep.
just maybe reach out to your friends who might have been impacted by this in a way that you don't think, like as being sick or anything like that, but just life change.
It's a really good point.
It is. It's impacting a lot of weird ways that people probably wouldn't have considered at all. Like on the wedding topic, I have a friend that shoots weddings, and I've told her she should start marketing like live streaming a wedding, because that's probably what it's going to come down to eventually if this keeps going on for a while.
Yeah, just go to the courthouse with your iPhone and, start a live stream on Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not a bad idea. Improvise, adapt, overcome.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that's that could be our encouragement this week, our challenge. Our challenge this week, as Will started several episodes ago, our challenge this week is check on your friends. Check on your friends, whether, like Jeff said, it's not just people affected by, getting sick, but it's people that, life events are being changed around, things are happening. People are losing jobs, and not because, for any reason, like the companies are shutting down, like going out of business. It's just companies can't work. So, people in the service industry, people in the film industry, there's a lot of industries out there where people can't work right now. And unfortunately for them, they're not on salary, so they don't get paid regardless. They, are based off of hours. So yeah, just reach out to their friends, and also don't be afraid to ask people for help. If you need to talk to someone, if you need to Skype with a friend, don't be afraid to ask. I guarantee you, if like I message Jeff and be like, dude, I just need to talk right now. We actually did that the other day. I just need to talk. He picked up the phone, he called me, and we just had a quick conversation. So make sure you check on people. Make sure you check on yourself and keep yourself grounded in this time, and just be more aware of yourself, so that you know how you're reacting and responding to whatever situation you're in. Yeah. So, any other words of wisdom, guys and girls, as we wrap this up?
I was gonna say that I agree with that. This is the perfect time to strike on if there's people that you want to talk to, just reach out, because they're probably in the same boat. A good example is, before even this week, I talked to some former coworkers on the phone, and we just chatted about this for a little bit, but it was nice to somebody that I would probably not ever talk to otherwise. We just caught up a little bit, and it was nice. It was comforting. Just for a little interaction.
That's lovely.
It was lovely.
Jeff, any words of wisdom?
No, I gave you the challenge. That was
yeah, you did. You issued the challenge.
That was kind of it. That's all I've got.
Wisdom, hit us. Drop the beat.
I got nothing.
Well, all right. So on that note, yeah, I mean, thanks for joining us on this episode, guys. Thanks for this special socially distanced group therapy. Community is super important. We're going through a very challenging time, just in the state of the world right now. But I think there's important lessons for us to take from this. It's a good time for us to become more aware of ourselves, how we operate, but also being more aware of those around us, or our colleagues, our coworkers, our friends, our family, and being way more intentional now about community, about being in community with people, and the importance of it. I'm really interested too to see how kind of the state of the world might change through all of this. I know there's already talks about our company. There's already talks about our company. Could this be the new norm? Are we going to see more companies start working from home, certain days of the week or something like that? Are we going to go more remote? I think it's going to change the landscape of our communities, of our world, in more ways than we think. And I'm really interested to see how that all shapes up as time goes on. So, Rachel, Will, Jeff, thank you all for joining me. Appreciate it. Can always count on you guys for a fun, lively podcast.
Yeah, this was fun and lively.
I was waiting on Jeff to make a comment, but he's got nothing.
I'm ready for some Call of Duty. Let's go.
Ready for Call of Duty. So thanks for tuning in. Make sure you like and subscribe. Follow us on social media. We now have an official Insights into a Soul. What is it? It's Instagram. Insights into a Soul official. I think it's _official. Dang it, I don't know. I'll put it in the description.
Torn, I was just looking at it and I noticed you don't have any of the episodes linked on that Instagram.
Insights into a Soul _official on Instagram. We have a Facebook. Yeah, I haven't put a lot of content up because this weekend, now that I have time, I need to go up and like download all of the images and put them on my Instagram in order. So it's like from episodes 1 to now. I didn't want to start throwing stuff up there because if I threw the current episode up, then I start posting, episode 1. It would look weird. So for the aesthetic, I'm going to be kind of going back and rebuilding or building a new Instagram. But yeah, make sure you follow us. Thanks for all the comments, the kind words. Working on setting up more interviews.
I think you're branding a little bit.
Nope. We'll do that later. No, it needs work. Look, Will, it's a work in progress. I just need to get it made and secured because Insights into a Soul was taken by somebody that hasn't done anything with their Instagram in a long time. So,
and don't forget to check out our sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends, and use the code. I'm just kidding.
Is it
also,
real thing?
Torn, if you'd like to license the official Insights into a Soul Instagram, I'd be more than happy to sell it to you for a small sum of money.
Will squatting on. Oh goodness. Anyway, thanks for
$4,000.
We will see you guys next time. Thanks for joining us on this episode of Insights into a Soul. If you enjoyed this podcast, make sure to like and subscribe and to share it with your friends. Make sure to follow us on Facebook, Insights into a Soul, on Instagram @TornH, and if you have suggestions for future episodes or topics, or if you'd like to be on the podcast, contact us, insightsintoasoul@gmail.com.